Hey, how are you doing today? Coming from a video, and today I am very excited indeed because today in the mail my Imco 67100 has arrived all the way from bloody China. So I've been waiting like 7 weeks for this lighter, so my patience has been finally rewarded. So the Imco 67100, well, Imco is a very old Austrian lighter brand. Well, it used to be Austrian. But it's a very, very old Austrian lighter brand. Started making lighters in like 1918, I think. But you can correct me if I'm wrong. 1918. And I've bought the Imco 67100. By far, Imco's most popular variety of lighters. The Imco 67100. And I said it used to be an Austrian brand because in 2012, like everyone knows, Imco has been... it went out of business and they sold it to Windmill, a Japanese company, and they have been making the Imco lighters in China. So Chinese made Imcos since 2012. So but I've seen on the internet that people said that they use the exact machinery that Imco used in the original Austrian made lighters. So Windmill, the Japanese firm, used the exact machinery that Imco used before that, but still the quality has dramatically declined, according to some people. So the metal has been of an inferior quality, it's thinner, it's less heavy, etc, etc, etc. But today we'll be exploring the Aliexpress Imco 67100 that you can just buy on Aliexpress for like... I bought this for €6, so it's like very cheap. So if it's absolute rubbish, I've lost €6, so I really can't complain. But without further ado, let's get into the AliExpress Chinese-made Imco 67100. I'm just going to put a card right there because I don't want to do this for the entire length of the video. So the shape is very interesting. It's like... Actually, it's just a box with a cylindrical shape attached to it. I've also got like the Imco branding on both sides of the lighter, and then I have design in Austria since 1918. Very interesting English grammar in my opinion. So, but it's made by the Chinese. So, on the bottom, it's exactly the same. It's come off Vienna, Austria, which is of course very interesting. English grammar as well. So, but it's a Chinese knockoff, so I only care about, does the lighter actually function well? Is it built properly? So the stampings on it, I don't really care. But it's also because I've like clicked on the wrong button when I ordered this from AliExpress, and I just wanted like this sleek, only silver design, but I messed it up, and now it's like this that has all this stamping on it. But it doesn't really matter if it's silver. If it's just a silver lighter, like that's good enough for me. Works perfectly every time as well. And well, that leads me to my next question. As I of course light up my first cigarette with the Imco lighter, I'm of course smoking Gitan sans filtre French cigarettes, but bought in Germany. So I'm very excited to do that. Well, works perfectly. What a surprise, what a surprise. And that leads me to the next question. Why have I bought an Imco lighter from AliExpress? And that not from the Windmill, not from the Japanese firm Windmill. And that is actually quite easy to answer because, like I said, Windmill also makes these Imco lighters in China, and AliExpress also makes their lighters in China because it's AliExpress. So it's actually it's both Chinese made. So why would I spend like 20 euros is what I would have to pay for a Windmill Imco lighter. So why would I do that if I could just buy it for like €6 on AliExpress? Of course, when we're talking about fuel-based lighters, of course, we're going to compare them to the king of fuel-based lighters, of course, the American Zippo lighter, which is beloved by many people. So, let's compare the American Zippo lighter to the Imco, and the first thing I can notice when holding them in my hands, so is the quality feel. So the Imco, the Chinese knockoff Imco. I'm just going to call it the Imco. Really, the Imco has better build quality. It feels heavier. It feels sturdier overall. The sheet metal feels thicker, better quality. In comparison to the Zippo, when I don't look at it, it feels more flimsy. The metal feels thinner, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But that is the first thing I can say. The Imco definitely feels of better quality, which is surprising for an Aliexpress lighter that costs like 10 euros to buy. So the second thing is, of course, the fuel evaporation. Everyone knows that Imco has better retains tobacco in my mouth. These non-filtered cigarettes. Everyone knows that Imco retains fuel better than the Zippo. The Zippo, just the fuel evaporates almost immediately, and that's of course because of the design and this cap that it has. It encapsulates the flame better, and just the overall design is superior to the Zippo if we're talking about fuel evaporation. So that is a very big advantage of the Imco lighter. Its fuel efficiency, you might call it fuel efficiency. And talking about design, the Imco, of course, has a very particular, rather eclectic design. It has this, like I said, it's just a box. It's just it's just a box with a cylinder attached to it, really. So it is quite bulky. It is a quite bulky lighter when you compare it to the Zippo. The Zippo has quite a sleek design, and I'm going to put the measurements right there. So the Zippo is wider, the Imco is taller, and the Imco is bulkier and thicker. So that is like a quick summary of comparing the measurements between those two lighters. But I prefer the Zippo. It is sleeker, and I think that is partially the reason why these Imco lighters have failed, why the original Austrian brand has failed, because it is just a bulky lighter. And of course, like I said in my video about the Zippo, is that these fuel-based lighters, they just phased out because, of course, of the big that launched in the 1970s. These disposable lighters that really were a death sentence for these old classic lighter brands like Ronson, like Imco, that really used quality, steel, quality Austrian-made craftsmanship. And people thought, why would I even bother to buy that if I can just buy a big lighter, especially in the 1970s, that doesn't leak fuel, that is just a butane-based lighter, a gas lighter. So, and another downside of the Imco is, if you open, wait, I'm just going to put my cigarette right there. Another major drawback of the Imco lighter is, of course, how you replace the flint. Everyone knows this as the staple gun lighter because at the bottom there's a button that you have to press. I really wish that I hadn't forgotten my ashtray. I always forget my ashtray when making these kinds of videos. It's very strange. You have to press a button and then... Well, normally you have to press the button and then it opens. But I just can't see... Yeah, okay. There it goes. It's like the staple gun lighter. It's like a staple gun. And it feels kind of flimsy. Like these metal parts feel kind of thin. And it's not going to surprise me that after a while it's just going to break. And that is just a very big drawback of the Imco lighter, is that how are you going to replace that? How are you going to place this quite mechanically complex? Well, yeah, it is quite mechanically complex. If this metal part breaks off or something like that, it's not like that you can just put a new one in. So that you can just easily replace that. But then after all, you can just always buy a new one because, yeah, it only costs like 10 euros. But but then it's actually like, why would you just buy a Zippo instead of that? Where you can just easily replace the parts. So, quite flimsy in the flint replacing department. That's for sure. So, a little bit of a conclusion. While I further smoke my cigarette, which liner do I actually prefer, the Zippo or the Imco liner? I have no idea because this liner just arrived today in the mail, like a couple of hours ago. So time will tell. I will definitely make an update video on the Imco. I'm going to exclusively use the Imco instead of the Zippo right now, and see which liner I actually prefer. But it lights up every time. It's like really good quality actually for a Chinese Aliexpress liner. And that was actually it. Like, time will tell which liner I will prefer. So that was my review on the Imco 67100 from Aliexpress from China. Comparison, and also like a comparison video to the Zippo, to the American Zippo liner. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.